Hi everyone, and welcome to my first makeup tutorial. You know, I'm a makeup artist. I've been doing this for a long time. I even wrote a book about it, and yet I'm so nervous, guys. Why? Because all these bloggers have these effects, these green screens that they actually just do in their bedrooms. And yet because they've been doing this for such a long time, I feel like I'm so pressured that I have to do something just as amazing. But you know what? I decided this is as organic as I can to make it as possible, so you guys see that I'm not trying to like sell you anything. I've actually never tested the KKW products yet, so as I'm using them, we're just going through it together for the very first time. Okay, I bought 2 contour kits, one medium and one dark. So why did I do that? Well, you can actually just buy one. It's really up to you, but I want to buy 2. So just in case I want to do something more drastic, even if I have medium skin tone, just for reference, guys, I'm an NC30 in MAC, just to give you, which is sort of much like the most common shade. So at least you guys have an idea why I bought dark and I bought medium. The dark, so that when I want something a little bit heavier, more dramatic, I want to use the dark. And when I want to use something more, let's say lighter for the day, I can use the medium just by itself. Or I can actually combine the two, which is what I'm going to do right now. Okay, so first and foremost, what do I think about it? Well, they're actually quite small. And for the price, oh my goodness, I think they're $38 for one. I can't even remember. I clicked on it so fast. I was like, I don't care. I'm just buying it. This is how far as it goes. If you can see, like right here. So, you know, if you do have a heavy hand, that's going to be wiped out really fast. And especially if you're going to use the highlight as a concealer, or you're going to use a lot of contour, especially if you want to thin your face out, for sure. In just a few applications, you're probably just going to finish all the products. So I would agree to use it sparingly. And then for the brush, a lot of people say it looks like a tampon. So what, guys? The point is, it's not a tampon. Why are you going to be grossed out? You guys are just hating. In fact, I love the Kardashians. You know why? They have made something seemingly stupid and shallow into an empire, into a business. And for the business that they do, you got to give that respect, no matter how much you love them or how much you hate them. And I respect them for that. Okay, so first things first. I've already done my eye makeup, and I've already done my base, my foundation. Now, some people actually like to do the contour first before the foundation. Not necessarily. In this case, I'm going to do the foundation first, and then I'm going to add the shadows onto my face. So we're starting with the dark contour. So the matte side, let's try this out. I'm not even sure how this, there we go. So you just put a little bit of it. If you're not sure where the hollows of your cheeks are, just suck in your cheek. And that's where you go. Okay, now if you want to define your jawline, you can also put some right here. Okay. And then let's say you have a very wide forehead. In my case, I don't really have a wide forehead, but I just sort of want to add some warmth, some depth to it. So I'm just going to put here to the side, just a little bit. I don't even know how this is going to blend, but we shall see. Okay, now this is a lighter shade. I am going to put that in my nose. See how that goes. Less is more, people. It's always easier to add than it is to remove. Okay. So let's test out this brush. So it's actually tightly packed. So that means that if you're going to put product, it has heavier coverage, or at least it's a little bit harder to blend because it's short bristled. But in this case, how am I feeling? It's actually pretty good. It's not bad. Now look, I'm using the dark shade, but it actually buffs out. That's what you're doing right now with the buff, with the brush. When you're buffing it out, you're just spreading the product. So it's just really important to blend, blend, blend as you're moving along.
Okay.
Guys, when you're buffing, when you're blending, it's always, you know, some people like to move upward, some downward. I like to do it in circular strokes.
It's really up to you what you find comfortable with. Okay.
The blendability, I think the blendability is great. It's not smudgy, it doesn't cake.
And then, you want to do this to the jaw?
Want to make sure that it reaches up until the ears, all the way down. You can even push it all the way underneath your chin so that it kind of pushes up that double chin. Even if you don't have one, it just adds some jaw definition. And if you look, I don't know if it even looks obvious to you. If you want to go darker, especially let's say for an evening night out, or you want to add, you want to lose an extra 10 pounds, you can even go darker on it. See, the hard thing about brushes is when you over blend it, you're kind of removing the product, right? So sometimes it's actually great to just use your fingertips. Is another great way to do that. Okay, now I'm going to use my finger for the nose. Now, some people don't really need a nose line, but I do. I'm Asian. So it's just adding definition to the sides. The fingertips, of course, add warmth to the product. So it actually, your fingers are actually one of the best makeup tools that you can use. So don't be afraid to use them. I'm not really sure if you can see a difference, but I think the whole point of makeup, especially with the thing that I want to teach you, is you don't want it to be so obvious. The whole point is just emphasizes or it accentuates rather than it be someone telling you, oh my God, Bianca, you look so good with your makeup on, or your makeup looks so good. Rather than I would rather that people tell me, Bianca, you look so good, period. Okay, so now that we've added some contour, now we're gonna move on to the medium highlight. So I'm mixing the dark and the medium. Okay, now one side has a bit of the shimmer in it. And the whole point of highlight is from the word high, because you're putting it on the highest spots of your face, or you want to highlight the parts of your face that you actually want the light to hit. So I suggest, especially even if you see these things on your favorite bloggers, if the shape of your face, let's say it's really round, you don't want to go overboard with a highlight, or else it actually bounces the light and makes your face actually look a lot bigger. So you only want to put it on the top of your cheekbones. And once again, if you're not sure where the top of your cheekbones are, just feel it. You can actually feel it in your face. No matter how round or flat your face is, your cheekbones are there. God gave them to you. So you can, and that's where you actually put it. And I'm not even going to use a brush. I'm just going to use my fingers to ever blend so slightly all the way up. And it's up to you how much you want to put. Some people like to put all the way here, like a letter C. Letter C right over there.
Okay.
Can you actually see that? I think it's actually pretty obvious where you see that a highlight is. Again, blending is key because you don't want it to look like a letter C, although that was how you started. Okay, now for those of you who have very Asian noses like myself and you kind of want to bring up that feature, you put the shiny part right here at the center, at the lowest point of your nose, so that when the light hits, it brings it up, giving the illusion that you have a higher bridge. Well, it's up to you. If you tend to have an oily face, like you have larger pores, then I suggest you use the matte side of the highlight so that it doesn't look so oily. Because sometimes shiny is not always that good. It's not necessarily a glow, you just look really greasy. Okay, the other part that you can use the highlight, you can use it on your brow line. Right here. Once again, your fingers. So even if you don't actually have any eye makeup on, you can just use this because it makes your eyes pop. And you can use it on the insides of your eyes as well. Now, if your eyes are quite separated from one another, or like the space in between your eyebrows are quite wide, you don't do this because you're actually making that more apparent. But for people who have very narrow set eyes, or for people who just have a regular set eyes and add that extra twinkle to your eyes, this is the best way to do it. Okay. And then I love to put white eyeliner on the whites of my eyes because it makes my eyes look more awake and look much bigger. So the matte, use it on the waterline. It's called the waterline. Guys, I want you to know that even if it's called a contour stick or highlight stick, you can use it any way you want. That's why it's called makeup. You can make up anything based on how you want it to be. So you don't want it to extend all the way down because you still want some depth from your eyelashes. And you just put it on the whites of your eye and it makes your eyes look more wide awake. Here's another place to put it. Let's say you tend to have, let's say, sort of like a, I don't say a resting bitch face, but a sad face where it looks kind of droopy. So you're sort of like reverse lining your lip liner. This is also a great way to clean up your lipstick, especially when it's like a really dark shade and you don't have a steady hand and you want to clean up the mess. This is a great way to do it. Okay, last but not the least, where else can you put that highlight? So the shimmery part right here on the Cupid's bow. And even here on the, so that your makeup looks more, or the features of your face look more one-dimensional. Another great way to use these products, use them as a lipstick. Especially now with the 90s and grunge is in, you can actually use these dark lipsticks as a lipstick as well. Or rather, these dark contour sticks as a lipstick as well. But I'm not going to do that because I will be using the Kylie Cosmetics cream lipstick together, her collaboration with her sister. Now, if you know this, she actually sold the contour powder. So because we're in the Philippines, we're in a humid country, it's best to set this with a powder, and preferably so that it doesn't get washed out, with the same shade that's complementary to the shades that you use. I'm not even going to do that today, just so that you can see how the dimensions of my face have slightly changed. Okay, now I can see that this seems to be the lightest. I don't want to go with that. I want to go with something that's a little bit darker because I'm wearing white. I don't want to look too washed out. And this is called Kimmy. So let's try Kimmy. I've seriously never tried a single Kardashian product.
Okay, let's try this.
So this is the swatch of Kimmy. And let's try it. Oh wow. The consistency is so creamy. It is so buttery. It's so silky. You know that this was done well, I have to say. So this is sort of like a peachy nude. And I find that this is best for darker skin tones because, you know, among the four, especially when you go too white, you don't want it to be too contrasting. It's not like you're wearing a red lip. So I find that the darker you go, especially if you're more in the morena side, the Filipina skin tone, I think the darker ones are more complementary, something that gives you more warmth. All right, and there you have it. Okay, you know what? Just for fun, I'm going to use this residue right here. Now, if you're in a cold country and it's quite dry, this would make a great cream blush. I'm gonna do that right now. So you don't rub, you pat. Just pat it. You're pressing the product onto your skin. And you gotta blend it fast so it doesn't cake up. And if you can, I suggest you put it on the apples of your cheeks. And if you can't find where that is, just smile. And you'll find it right at that center, right here. And you can do this with red lipsticks too. You just have to apply it sparingly. And you have so many products that are multi-use, even if they're marketed as a contour stick, lipstick, an eyeshadow. You can use an eyeshadow as a contour powder. So don't you worry about feeling like, oh my god, but it only says an eyeshadow. Guys, it's called repackaging. There you go. And if you want that to stay in place, you can actually top it with a blush that's a similar color as that, and you are good to go. All right, guys, so that was a bit of a healthy glow, really short tutorial. I think that was short for our Kim Kardashian West beauty. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I promise to do better for next time with added special effects, but in the meantime, I hope you guys took something for that. So guys, check out biancavalerio.com, and there are more tutorials to come. Until next time, I'm Bianca. Bye guys.